It's the first night of spring break. A group of friends are having a party at the beach along with some of their classmates. The party gets intense, and while one of the friends is filming the party with her video camera, two boys named Vance and Gilbert find a giant ball covered in a strange gooey substance. Although this is a strange and unlikely occurrence, the party continues with all guests asked to put their phones in a bag to prevent anyone from posting it online. The following day, two of the friends, Kaylee and Mitch, awake on the lifeguard building. Jonah, Kaylee's boyfriend, awakes in a nearby car close to another girl named Chanda. Vance and his girlfriend Ronnie are at the back of the car. Marcia, a topless girl, wakes up having fallen asleep on a table. The other teenagers, including Heather, are nowhere to be found. Marcia begins to puke. Then Kaylee sees a bird get sucked into the sand. She immediately warns Marcia not to step on the sand, but is too late. Marcia becomes very distressed since she cannot move, so Vance ignores Kaylee and goes to help Marcia only to get stuck as well. Marcia and Vance are gruesomely killed as their bodies are swallowed by the sand, much to the horror of their friends. Jonah tries starting the car, but it won't come on. All of a sudden, Kaylee wants to make contact with the sand, and in the process, she observes strands of sand trying to grab her hand. Gilbert wakes up stuck in the trash can and wants to get out. He screams for help and wants to pull himself out despite warnings from his friends not to. They tell him that there's something in the sand and that Marcia and Vance are dead. Gilbert thinks it's ridiculous when he's asked to sit tight and wait for help. Mitch wants Gilbert to endure until 2 hours when the tide would drift towards their location. The group cannot call for help as their phones are locked in the trunk of the car. Kaylee takes Mitch inside the lifeguard building. Jonah, Chanda, and Ronnie are unaware that the sand is gradually sinking their car. Kaylee shares a drink with Mitch while Chanda tells Jonah to forget about her since she's found Mitch her new excitement. Hours go by and Ronnie is seen writing a letter. The heat becomes intense and Gilbert is still stuck inside the trash can. Kaylee asks Mitch about what happened last night, and he thinks she's asking if they had sex when in fact she is referring to the fact that they were actually walking on the beach, but they can't anymore. Kaylee throws same question to her friends, and they begin to debate on how the previous night went. It suddenly occurs to them that all of their friends who were present at the party must have died in a pretty disgusting manner. Gilbert thinks it's a prank and threatens to hurt the culprit. Jonah gives Gilbert a lotion for sunburn to enable him stay longer under the sun. Jonah thinks it's quicksand and urges his friends to dig Vance and Marcia out, but then when they see the cracked egg on the edge of the beach, they conclude that whatever hatched from it has burrowed under the sand and killed everyone during the night, including Vance, Heather, and Marcia.
How? When? What changed? What happened?
It's more alien than natural and it's under the sand. Gilbert begins to panic. Kaylee gets an idea. She grabs some hot dogs and tosses them at different ends of the beach to see how big the creature is. When one of the hot dogs doesn't sink into the sand, the group is hopeful, but realize it's way too far to reach and they would die trying. Gilbert, who is yet to experience any incident, gets to see a bird sucked in by the sand, and this terrifies him because he is closer to the ground than everyone else.
Throw me a hot dog, a drink, or something, man!
The group stares in shock as they all wonder how they'll all eventually die in such horrific manner. Ronnie cries out saying that no one has come looking for some of her friends, and that no one would come for them.
Just hold on.
She thinks they'll definitely die out here. Jonah takes 2 of his surfboards and makes a bridge to reach the table Marcia had slept on. Although he is warned not to attempt this, but he ignores the warning and proceeds.
I'm dying here!
Halfway there, he decides to engage Kaylee in a conversation about their stale relationship. He accuses Mitch of wanting his girlfriend all along, while Kaylee thinks Jonah has been intimate with Chanda. The sand pulls the surfboard and Jonah is forced to come in close contact with the sand. When he manages to pull himself back up, he notices that he has sustained multiple injuries on his stomach. Strands of the sand has gotten into his body and is gradually eating him from the inside.
Do something, help him!
I don't know what to do.
He is suddenly hungry and tries eating a banana, but then the wound begins to seep pus. Jonah begins to lose energy but manages to share some drinks to his friends before the creature slashes his stomach, revealing its venomous tipped hair.
We all told you not to do it, but now you're over there and you're gonna make the most of it, okay?
Kaylee notices the car is gradually sinking. Then Gilbert asks for their phones. Chanda and Ronnie attempt to access the trunk to get their phones out, but they are unable to, so Ronnie volunteers to try standing on the bumper to enable her get into the trunk. Before attempting this, she tells Chanda to give the letter she wrote in her notebook to her mom just in case she dies. Ronnie slips and almost falls down but refuses to give up. It's difficult to get into the trunk because there's nothing to hold on to, and so Chanda uses a towel to support Ronnie, but this fails. They try different methods to get their phones out of the trunk to no avail. Kaylee and Mitch are now assisting Ronnie and Chanda to retrieve their cell phones, and they successfully get the trunk open, but when a beach patrol car is spotted heading towards them, Ronnie gets her fingers stuck in the door of the trunk. A patrolman named Alex arrives at their location and the group warns him to not step on the sand. He ignores them and marches on. They are shocked to see that Alex is not affected, but then Mitch thinks that it must be his shoes protecting him from the creature. When Alex sees Jonah's wound and Gilbert stuck in a trash can, he concludes that the group are involved in some drugs and begins to taunt them. Alex attempts pulling Gilbert out of the trash can, but simply cannot. He tells Gilbert that he looks like an art exhibit. He then walks towards Ronnie and Chanda, but refuses to help their situation, forcing Kaylee to yell at him to go call his supervisor.
Okay, call your supervisor, just whatever!
Alex says he's the supervisor. Mitch tells Alex that his shoes are providing him protection from the sand. When Alex drops his keys and stoops to pick it, he gets stuck as well. Kaylee yells at Alex to use his pepper spray, which temporarily saves him, but he loses his arm and this causes him to go into shock, falling back down and is immediately sucked into the sand and eliminated. Kaylee grabs his pepper spray. Mitch comes up with an idea. He plans on getting to the trunk by putting on his flip-flops, spraying his feet and wrapping them up in towels to protect his feet from the sand. Chanda throws a towel at Mitch, but he falls over and breaks the banister on the boardwalk, causing him to fall flat on the sand and is immediately devoured in a gruesome manner. Kaylee weeps for his death. Then, after a brief moment of sadness, she takes over. She makes Chanda take the broken pieces of the boardwalk, using them as a bridge to get to Jonah, who is barely conscious and could die any moment now. They manage to pull Ronnie's broken finger out from the trunk. Then Kaylee gives Chanda a slap for screwing her boyfriend, Jonah. They bind Ronnie's injury, after which they begin to walk on the boardwalk to get to Jonah. Meanwhile, Gilbert cuts his stomach on the trash can when he attempts to move, and this alerts the creature. Kaylee successfully makes it across to Jonah, but when Ronnie attempts to cross, she trips, and despite Kaylee spraying the area before she falls, Ronnie is caught by the sand. All attempts to pull her away proves futile. She gets sucked into the sand. Chanda takes up Mitch's plan. She ties the towel around her feet and runs to Alex's car. For a moment, they are excited that Chanda made it across, but then sadly, Gilbert is attacked by the creature, which kills him before sucking his body through the trash can. The alien creature bangs against the truck, knocking Chanda unconscious. Hours later, Chanda regains consciousness and quickly recuperates, knowing that their predicament is far from over. She gets to the back of the car where she finds a raft, then quickly opens it so Kaylee and Jonah can get to the car. The trio manage to get across to the car. Kaylee and Jonah share a passionate kiss and profess their love for each other. Then Kaylee is pulled from the car into the raft. A massive creature with long glowing tentacles sprouts from the sand, attacking Kaylee, who manages to get back on top of the car. She grabs 2 gas cans and uses them to set one of the creature's tentacles on fire. She gets back into the car as the creature attempts to bash the vehicle. Moments after the attack ceases, Chanda and Kaylee find Jonah dead from his stomach injury, having succumbed to the creature's venom. Both girls mourn Jonah's death and the rest of their friends. By morning, a man wakes the girls up, asking if they are okay. Kaylee and Chanda get off the car and walk on the beach barefooted, noting that the creature is gone after leaving crater about 100 yards in diameter.